Dear EB Games and BioWare, you'll probably never see this. But I'm Lady Selk, and I love the Dragon Age series. Like, big fan. I've been playing the new one, and I'm sorry, I don't like it. I've been seeing around, everyone's already pretty much taken Dragon Age for dead. I'm so sorry. But I reckon if you guys give me a chance, you're willing to like try Dragon Age again, right? We could have this as like an alternate universe or something. It's still a playable game. But I reckon if you give me a chance, we could make a better one. Like much better, like dark, got all the good stuff in there, actually fun to play. I know, I'm so sorry. I don't. I really don't like the game, but I reckon we could do it. It's probably never gonna happen, but this is an open letter. If you give me the chance, I will actively help you guys make a better game. Okay, now that all the EA and BioWare employees have left, I am so sorry. I wish that the game was better. I really, really, really wanted this game to be good. I've die-hard fan of this game. I've been waiting, waiting for the next one, and I was very disappointed. This is pretty much, I don't know if you'd call it a rant, but we're going with this. I am so sorry. Feel free to click out. This is my overall impression of like the beginning half of the game. I have been really struggling to stick with it, which is like another reason why it's got so many issues. Because when a new game comes out, right, and you've been waiting for it, you think it's going to be amazing, you binge it, right? Or at least I do. I'll binge it until it's finished. I don't care how long it takes me. If I am that invested, like, good luck getting me to stop. So I've written down some notes, like nothing like absolutely crazy, just some dot points for me to like stay on track because I will get distracted. I'm very passionate about this series, so Veilguard really annoys the hell out of me. So I suppose we may as well start with the character creator, since it's like the first thing you really get your hands on in the game, right? Um, Honestly, I don't care if they have surgery scars in that. It's fine. I don't see why not. If that's what they want, like fine, put it in there, but I was quite disappointed that I can't make myself. um Obviously the lack of bust and boob sliders, right? Everyone's been saying it. I don't think we really need to reiterate that. I can't make myself in game, and I feel like I should be able to. I did notice when I was creating the character, because they've got weirdly big heads, I was trying to fix the issue with the sliders in game, but it didn't really work. And they've also got like a weird egg-shaped dome thing going on at the back of the head, right? And like the more I messed with it, the more like weirder and warped it got, like right at the back of like the base of the neck. And most, like some of the like, half the hairstyles actively show that it's there. Like the really nicer ones, they show that it's there, right? And then like the ones that don't have as nice fringe, they don't show it. So like either you have a really redonkulously big head with like a bump at the back, or you get a different hairstyle. Which, yeah, shouldn't be a thing. um let's see. The character creator, it was really hard to get a really nice feminine looking face. I spent a little bit over the 2-hour mark to return the game in the character creator, just trying to like make a nice face and try and get a nice like body and stuff that wasn't like too masculine, because I'm a petite short woman with boobs and butt, okay? I want to make myself in game, and I wasn't really able to do that. I tried my best. So that was very disappointing. That definitely ruins my immersion because either I'm making myself, which is like the usual thing I do for my first playthrough, because games like Dragon Age, like minus Velgard, are games that I want to play over and over and over again. I want to see all the different like romance options. I want to see all the different choices I can make, etc. And sometimes it's just that good I want to play it again anyway. Um Obviously I'm not feeling that compulsion with Veilguard. um but yes, so uh, that's an issue because sometimes when you play again you're like, oh, you know what, I want to be a completely different made up character, because that's what I do. My first playthrough was like my character, me living vicariously through it in my escapism type thing, right? I openly admit that I play games for escapism. And like then after that I'll get crazy, like I don't know, I'll throw white hair on and God knows what, right? We'll get a little crazy. Make a completely off base character, off tap. And that's great. Being able to play the game over and over again and still fucking enjoy it means that it's a good game. And having the lore and stuff like that really makes a difference. Let's see. One of my notes here. There was definitely some clipping issues. This is probably written down a couple of times here, but anyway, so eyelashes, they would clip into your face, which makes it like a really like a weird thing to see when you're in a cutscene and your eyelashes go whoop, goodbye. Then there's sometimes in some of the cutscenes, the hair and makeup disappears in some like cutscenes, and like I have to go to the mirror to edit to fix it back, like once I get back into the game. Thankfully the preset was there so I could just load that, but it was definitely a weird thing to like see my character walk into the cutscene bald with no makeup or anything like that and like a completely different face. I was like, I'm sorry, did someone steal your face? Let's see. Solus's heavy spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, you're in the wrong video. But Solus's hair in the memories disturbs me. Whoo boy. Okay. So one, it's a mullet. Even in Australia, mullets aren't great. Especially since it was like a mullet, like with long hair and then the sides shaved. Ugh. No. That's awful. And that's my past romance option there. I look at that, I'm like, where's my egg? Like, what? Varric turning his chest hair into a full-on beard, that weirded me out. He's always been big about like not doing the beard thing. Like, yeah, it's freaking weird. It's always been the chest hair and then like maybe a little bit of stubbly bits here, but like no beard. And he's a sassy lassie. I don't think he's gonna change his mind just because he gets to a certain age. Is like, now I need to dwarf properly. What? Let's see. I'm just gonna move to like game and mechanical issue section maybe. The store absolutely annoys the freaking hell out of me. So if you don't know, all of the stores are locked behind like an approval system, right? That you have to upgrade manually using like random materials and gold just to unlock buying certain like higher tier stuff. Not even certain items. There's like a couple of like basic piddly little things that you can buy at the beginning, but you have to like go and do quests for the faction to raise their approval, and then also collect materials and pay gold, your hard-earned gold, just to be able to buy stuff at a store. I feel like this was added in completely to make the game more grindy, right? They want you to spend extra time on the game. Like, they're like, oh, like, what is it, like 60 plus hours of gameplay. I could see where it's coming in. So you've got stuff like the store, which honestly is the worst thing. I hate it so much. I don't want to have to grind for approval just to get the like the armor and like items that I want to get through the gameplay. I've got the gold, that should be enough. It's been enough in like the other games. I feel like this mechanic is like an issue. And shouldn't be there, right? Um which also, you know, as to the grindy issue, right? So the combat. It's it's really not hard, right? It's pretty much dodge and attack repeatedly until you've killed the monster. So it seems like all the health bars have been buffed, right? So that they take long enough and you're really just dodging and attacking. There's no real actual skill that comes with it. Like there's supposedly like, you know, mechanics like, oh, dodge the flicking the floor and stuff, but there's no like skill involved. There's no actually plotting out, oh, the best way to do this, blah 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 blah. It's all I shoot, attack, I dodge the attack, and I shoot for like 20 plus minutes maybe. And there's nothing fun about the fights. And it's awful. And it seems like your companions don't really help much, which obviously makes the fight take longer. Yeah, you can combine skills, which is, I guess, pretty cool, but let's be honest, it's like what? 50% of the gamers aren't going to be bothered doing that because it's just tedious as hell. Plus, you know, they're already got the strategy of, oh, I attack, and then I dodge out of the way of this, and then I attack again. And it could have been done a lot better. Just a fight doesn't have to be grindy. It needs to be entertaining, right? You need to have fun playing it. It doesn't have to last forever. I know the game time, like the runtime's important. Oh my god. Excuse me, the ambos are going past. Um, yeah, I feel like a lot of like the game's mechanics have been like added specifically just to like increase the playtime. And it really shouldn't. I feel like those sort of stuff takes from the game, not adding to it. And the game should make you want to replay it, not go, oh, I've got to redo all of this stuff if I do play it again. I really don't want to have to. And then you don't, right? Let's see. The bad guys are cartoonish, like painfully cartoonish, right? So the old Dragon Age games, like they made you sweat. Like you were getting like concerned. And I loved it. Are you kidding me? The games were so dark. And like the monsters were like creepy looking and scary. And I felt like my character was in danger, right? Like because what? Take the, I think it was Origins. It was, yeah. Take Origins, right? Way back in the day, they had the Broodmother. I felt so much stress going through, and you can just hear the dwarf chick, I can't currently remember her name, like describing, you know, slowly, like, you know, Bianca like leaving her companions behind, and then like, you know, it was I don't think I could say it on YouTube, or I'd rather not, but yeah, it was like the Broodmother was like a really intense scene that made me like, oh, I felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Like, damn, these dwarfs have some real world consequences for the stuff that happened and Bianca ditching them and stuff. Wait, Bianca, what am I saying? Bianca. The chick, the Paragon. It wasn't Bianca, was it? Anyway, for having her ditch them, right? And like one of them was like her lover that she ditched. And then like, yeah, the lesbian lover. Anyway, like, oh man, I felt the tension. I was like, oh my god, we're going there. Damn. You know, and I didn't feel any of that in this game. None. So far the only thing that's sort of like, kind of like thing is that village at the beginning. And it's not like you could even really do anything. It's just, oh, the village is blighted. Ooh. And then you go through the fancy walkway and there's the village head. Oh, do you save him or spare him? Like hell I'm gonna spare him. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so I really wish it kept some of that gravitas and like darkness, because the blight's not pretty. It's awful, right? So like all these blighted creatures, they all do messed up. It's not just like, oh, they killed some NPCs, blah 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 blah. Like they were doing some pretty messed up shit. And there's not really a trace of that in these. Like most of the place is really pretty. Which I love the backgrounds. Don't get me wrong, I love Alathan. Like it's so pretty. But I'm not really seeing a trace of like, oh, like a proper blighted, right? So the lighting's always done up high and oh, look at the pretty scenic. Like if I see blight in the area, I'm expecting like dark tones, like corruption on the grounds, no like live trees or anything. They should be all shriveled up. Like the blight's not a good thing. It corrupts everything around it. And the scenery should show that. But in here, it's like, oh, smash that blight bubble. And then the blight disappears and stuff like that. And you get this nice little walkway surrounded by, yeah. And I'm just like, huh? Like, I remember literally walking through a flesh tunnel of like darkspawn leftovers and stuff, the bits of meat they didn't eat, and it was, all sorts of like viscera and stuff like that. And here it's just like, oh, la da 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 da. And like the blood is not really blood or anything. Like occasionally like a couple of cutscenes where it's like necessary, like at the very first one when she hits her head. Oh, there's blood or stuff like that, yeah. But overall, it's very clean. There's not really blood. There's not really dirt. You just look like a fresh, clean, washed person all the time. Like there's no, oh, you've been traveling for weeks or whatever through literal darkspawn hell. None of that. So yeah, the game doesn't have the grit and gritty, the darkness about it. And I feel like that's one of the main things that you sort of need. Like even Dragon Age Inquisition was a little bit lighter, but it still sort of felt like a Dragon Age game, whereas this doesn't. I get to Soulless at the end because honestly that's gonna be my biggest rant. I am so sorry. Let's see. The HP of the monsters, blah blah blah. The UI needs some work. It has a lot of issues. It's very distracting, and there's that many like little triangle markers. Triangle, what am I saying? Diamond markers around, right? For like every like alluvion and like shit like that. And it's like, oh, look over here, and I'm trying to follow the main story quest, and like even my friend was watching and she's like, oh no, that's where you need to go. And we got into that mirror and she's like, what? But it had the symbol. And I was like, no, it's some fancy symbol you gotta follow. But there's that many like symbols of go this way, go this way, go this way. Like, how are you supposed to like focus properly, right? Or even like explore the area. There's just so much stuff drawing your attention in every different way. And they're like, no, come this way. No, come this way. And you're like, where am I? You're trying to follow the main quest and you think, oh, is this the quest? It's not the quest. It's a completely different quest screaming at you going, hey, pick me. Look, I love shiny shit. I really do, if you couldn't tell. But I like it in moderation. Like only really light up like important things on the UI. I feel like, I think I saw this wonderful video. This gentleman like went through and like fixed all like the AI UI lookalike. And it looked so much cleaner. There's so much fluff and bullshit in the AI when we were just trying to, focus and play the game. Like, I don't need my eyes being distracted by, a random alluvian when I'm trying to do my main story quest. Um, so I feel like honestly that needs a lot of work. um, the game is hard to stick with. Yeah, so Veilguard is really hard to stick with. I'm having trouble slogging through this. Like, I'm determined I'm gonna finish it. Because when I told everyone how bad it was, like my friends and stuff like that, they're like, well, why don't you just refund the game? I'm like, you don't understand. It took me over the 2 hour limit to get out of the character creator. I cannot return it now. Plus, I love Dragon Age. The moment I saw that it was available for pre-order, I bought the deluxe edition, and I'm desperately waiting. And then I was getting more and more terrified by seeing like all the reviews and like sneak peeks and stuff that like the early play testers, they're like, oh my god, it's an amazing game, and they show you a scene, you're like, how is this amazing? Like, oh, there's that one video, I'm sure that person's, pretty pissed off they got viral about it, but they're like, oh, the character creator, oh, they've got top surgery scars, and I'm like, okay. And then they're just like focusing on the wrong things. The game needs to be good. Like, like, I love the Dragon Age games. They've always had sort of like work stuff, like lesbian couples and stuff. It doesn't matter because it was written well. If it's not written well, it's an issue. And I'm sure everyone's just focusing on that sort of thing because they've made it such a big issue, that so front and center, and it's so badly written that it's hard not to focus on it. If they had written the characters well and like put it in the story so well, we wouldn't have even noticed or cared. We would have been so focused on the story and playing the game. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. God, we had like Dorian in the last game. He was gay. Like, all the characters now, anyone can date them. Like, in the last game, they had preferences. Dorian was like, men only, thanks. So if you wanted to romance Dorian, you better make a male character. Just like Solus. I had to make a female elf, which was fine. I'm fine with that. Yeah, if they had written it better, it wouldn't have been a problem. But it's awful. It's awful listening to them. Like, gosh, I've been complaining to my friends. I'm just like, I'm trying to play this game and there's awful companions and blah, blah, blah. And the story, like the writing for the characters is so bad. And like, it's so blatantly like, I have to push this agenda. And I'm like, you don't have to push it. If you do it right, it'll just sit in the background and we'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Right? But I've been seeing like everyone like, oh my god, if you don't like Dragon Age, you're a transphobe. You hate trans people because you don't want, like, I don't know, this trans character in the game. We don't care. We don't care. If you weren't blatantly treating us like we're stupid or children and forcefully feeding us, I don't know, oh, trans blah 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 blah. If you'd put it in the background, we wouldn't have cared. It would have just been like a cool part of the story, like making a dynamic world. But they're so forward pushing and, oh, we have to get this up here and make everyone, pay attention and like become part of it and blah, 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 right? Anyway, I've gone off track. I'll probably go off track again. Let's see. The writing's so bad I can't. Yeah, so the writing, well, I suppose this is on topic now. The writing is so bad that I can't really empathize with any of the characters, which, makes it lack immersion. So I hate to like point at like a particular character, but they're a really good example of a lot of the things that were incorrect with this game. So the Qunari, Tosh, I think it's Tosh. Yeah. Anyway, she, I don't enjoy cutscenes with them, which sounds bad. And it's because they have been written so bad that they play like a petulant teenage child. They God, in one of the scenes, you're literally mediating them and another freaking companion as children, as you would children. Oh, now you need to share your toys, blah, blah, blah. They're your companions. They are grown ass adults that should be able to have grown ass adult conversations. Like, if they can date each other, you should have written them as adults, you know, for mentally. I feel like, God, I don't want to specifically harp on like the trans exclusives, blah 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 blah, you know, stuff. It's just a really bad written couple of scenes, honestly. It shouldn't have been so forefront and focused. Like, as a nice tidbit that you have to go out of your way to figure out, or if you're like dating that character and it comes up, would have been pretty chill. But the fact you're like, hey, here's some, you know, don't mispronoun blah 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 scenes, like, I don't think we needed it as like a forefront kind of thing. And another continuing on is, so I had Harding come with me in the beginning bit, so she got hurt instead of Nev. I'm not feeling real like emotional connection with even Harding, who I knew from a different game. They're just so bland right here. So when Harding had been hurt and she was doing that thing where she's staring out the window and just sitting there, and you're like, hey, are you okay, right? Because they've just had the, you know, beaten up to all hell from the situation. And so they just stand up, turn around, oh, Rook, hi. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? No wiping away tears or like a, you know, like the voice actor tried. They were doing the sniffles, like the, you know, they're trying to make themselves sound sad. There's only so much the voice actor can do, though. I feel like, wipe away a tear in game could have been a big mechanic to just a little bit of an extra something to make me actually feel like the character's actually sad. They just stand up, turn around, hi, Rook. And yeah, it just, they didn't make these little extra add-on bits to actually make the characters come to life. Everything that they're currently doing is, there's no like added extra flair, right? Dorian was always a sassy lassie. Solus did the, you know, thing where he'd grip his staff and with like both hands. That was distracting. But stuff like that, you know, little character quirks that make you like associate that with the person, or like that makes the character come to life and makes them more like a person and not just a pixelated game character that someone wrote up, right? I want to be able to get immersed in them as a character and feel what they're feeling. I want to feel compelled to go and help them. I don't want to be like, oh, I have to do this, right? For like approval ratings and shit. And to add on to that, the characters as a whole are kind of, they're meh. They're kind of meh. Like in the last game, or like this, well, any of the games actually, I looked at all the people and I was like, damn, who am I gonna romance? Because I'm big on romance. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a big driving factor in me personally. From my experience, you had like Alistair, Zevran, like a whole cast, like Liliana, Cassandra, like Cullen, Fenris, Anders, Blackwall, like there's a whole, like Solus, there's a whole cast from the last, you know, couple of games that you look at them, you're like, damn, who am I gonna romance? I made a male character specifically so I could romance Cassandra at some point. On one of my many playthroughs, so I play through normally as a female human, and I romanced Cullen the first time. Cullen's a lovely bean. So that's in the Inquisition. I'd been trying to get Cullen from like Origin, because there's like, if you're a mage, right, in the circle, you can like sort of like flirt with Cullen for a little bit, and then like you see him a couple of times and you can flirt. Nothing happened for that. The second one, tried to get Cullen again. I was like, maybe, maybe. Didn't happen. Third one, finally got Cullen. I was so thrilled. Anyway, and then like Solus, he was the second one I went for. And boy, I have emotional issues from that, which is one of the reasons I was so desperate for this game, is I needed closure. I'm just like, I need something, right? And I that made me more invested, right? I these people have their own quirks and stuff like that. And it makes them feel real. Like all of them had different stories. They felt organic to talk to, and goddamn, I mean, Solus made me cry. I'll admit it. I cried. Solus left me. He took my Velasine and he fucking left me. And then at the end, we find out he's the Dreadwolf and he's run off to do Dreadwolf things. And then he takes my arm to protect me and then runs off again. And I'm like, they're like, will you go after him? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going after my man. Are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna let him do something stupid like that and get away? I gotta go get him. It's my man. The old I can fix him sort of thing. And that made me so hyped for this game. I had to go and get my man. I had to go get him. And, or like, even if it was a non-romantic option and he was your friend, you have to go get your friend. You have to stop your friend from doing stupid shit. Right? And this one, a lot of the characters annoy me. And they're not sort of what you would find attractive, right? So I've noticed the trend is like characters getting less and less sort of like attractive and boob sizes go down. Like poor Morrigan and Isabella, they've been downsized a lot. If you look at them back from like the old games, Isabella in particular, she was a very voluptuous lady. And now she's like little droopy boobs. And yeah, she's not wearing a bra, but they don't go down that much from not wearing a bra. It's not like they go pop, shrinks. Yeah, so it definitely also helps to like break the immersion, because unless, I don't know, there's not many reasons boobs go down. There's not many, and it's not like they're losing a massive amount of weight. They're the same weight. Yeah, there's a lot of these like little tidbit of like immersion breaking, and I hate immersion breaking. I want to be invested and completely immersed in the games. All right. Anyway, well, actually, that was the point. Is I looked at the cast of characters, right? Your companions, and the only one I'm interested in romancing is the freaking edgy demon guy, right? That's it. I was like, I guess you'll do. You're sort of like a better option than, out of a cast of kind of characters. Like the Grey Warden guy is a pretty good option too. But as a whole, like Harding's become like weird, right? She used to be like a really badass character, and now she's kind of like weird. The Kunari, completely off the table for me. She is painfully written. And then there's the growling thing. And the old tech guy, much too old for me. Nev, I mean, maybe in another playthrough. But yeah. For the most part, like, I'm not even gonna talk about that tech chick, but the most part, like, the other characters are so unappealing that even though there's dating options, I'm not looking forward to it. I pretty much am gonna date this crow dude, get through the game, and then I don't think I'll probably play it again. Which is sad, because I've been dying for this damn game. I wanted it so bad. Anyway. Yeah, Solus is pretty much the only one in this game I really have a connection from, and that was pre-established from the game before. I can't even keep the connection with Harding because it's awful. Um, awfully written. But yeah, and that's just because of the last game. Because I was so attached to him in the last game. That's the only reason I have the connection with him this one. Um, when I saw Dorian, it looked like a discount Dorian. I was like, damn, it's discount Dorian. Um, on stream. And I was very shocked when he introduced himself as Dorian. And I was like, what did they do to you? Oh no, what did they do to you? What happened to my fabulous man? You know, he was one of the really good characters from before. He was a sassy lassie. And I was just like, what did they do to you? So I literally called him a discount Dorian. I'm sorry, Dorian. But okay. Um yeah, some of the like the character writing is so bad. It's like the PG version, right? This game is like the PG approved version of the other Dragon Ages, where they get gritty and have some, stuff like the Broodmother and other things, right? This one it's like now little Timmy can't sit here and play this game because it's got this in it. Well, let's PG that down. Mom and Dad's watching. I have to agree. It feels like PR is in the like PR. Like fucking the higher ups were in the room looking at it, going, "Oh, we can't put that in it," or "Oh, we can't do it that way," or "This needs to be approved for like." Yeah, it just it feels like HR is in the room, not PR, HR. And I 100% agree with that assessment. It feels like they're pretty much just dancing around trying to please these people that have set all these like imaginary made up standards for a game that's never conformed to imaginary made up standards. Like I want to feel it. I want to feel uneasy. I want to feel like there's some real stakes in the game, and it's not. There's no actual real stakes. My choices don't seem to matter, and there's no like it doesn't have like the options, right? Not 100% the best way to say it, but it's not got like the feeling of choice. Um say like, I don't know, as an example, oh, the Templars or mages. That was a big choice in game I had to figure out. Was I gonna go and save the mages and then have the Templars be corrupted? Or vice versa? Even when I had to pick the dragon, right? Oh, do I save this town or that town? Oh well. Oh well. And I knew immediately they're gonna be like, so I picked the Tevinter. Not Tevinter. Brain gone. I picked the Crow's hometown, right? Because I was going for that dude romantically. So obviously I picked that, and Nev is like pretty much indirectly like it's your fault for choosing to go there instead of here. And I knew that was going to be a thing from the get-go. I knew the moment the choice came up, I was like, okay, so I need to prepare myself for the characters like pretty much like blaming you because you didn't pick their town. Regardless of which one you picked, they're always going to be mad. Even though the situation was dire and pretty shitty from the beginning. Um yeah, it doesn't even give me like the illusion of choice. Like it's like like, oh my god. So one of the recent ones was I was talking to Solus and it gave me options. And one of them was like you get angry. You get angry at him and blame him that he's no better than the other gods. The other's a stoic response, and the other's like a laughing, haha, you're just as bad as they are. And I'm like, where's my option for like peacefulness or forgiveness and stuff like that? Where's that? I don't want to be angry at Solus. Everyone's got something that pushes them and motivates them to do things. And I don't want to jump in and be like, well, I automatically blame you because reasons. I would rather say they showed me. Show me how he's irredeemable. If he's irredeemable, show me he's irredeemable. Don't just be like, well, these are the options you get to say, just be a snarky little shithead, right? No, I don't want to be a snarky little shithead. I am an adult that can make adult choices, and I know it's not all black and white, and he's probably got a damn good reason for what he's doing. And they're just like, snarky options, that's all you get. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like Solus. He's a good character. Hell, they're like, oh, he's like the god of like lies and treachery and rebellion. He was the rebellion. And are you kidding me? And they're like, oh, he doesn't care about spirits. I'm like, Solus has always been super caring about spirits. I saw him upset because one of his spirits was like bound, turned into a demon, and then we had to kill it. So he was deeply upset. And I cried because of it. I felt how much it hurt him to lose this spirit. Like, not even a live person, a spirit. That was the Solus. He was always caring and wise and calm. So seeing him, like, break that calmness, it meant, like, it meant something. It had, like, a deep gravitas feeling. You're like, oh shit, this is bad, right? And here, it's just, I don't like having them tell me that these are my only options, that I can't forgive Solus, that I have to be a dick to Solus, or any character, really. I don't like, I don't know, say I wanted to turn around into Varric and be like, you know what, Varric? I don't actually like you. You're not a great guy. He is a great guy. I like him a lot. But at least give me the option. Let me offend characters. It's fine. They don't have to like me. And I don't have to like them. It makes them more human if we don't get along necessarily. Just give me the option. Like, I could choose to kiss ass if I want to. I can also be like an absolute ass if I want to. Just let me have the choice. Let's go on the Sol. Wait, hold up. I don't know if I'm ready to go on the Solus train. Hold on. Where are we up to? There's more lack of choice in history. Yeah, the choice in history. I'm pretty sure you know this one's coming up. 3 choices from the past. Nah, bro. Man, if they say even the keep, like, the keep, it's a little bit tedious when you first set it up and stuff, but once you figure out, like, it's pretty simple, right? Just input all your choices and etc., right? I love the fact that I can go and change that one. I don't even have to play it. I can just go into the keep and be like, you know what? My warden banged Morrigan and we had a baby. We had a baby god together, and we lived together in this illuvian for a while. I don't have to do that. I can just say it. I'll be like, yep, you know what? Done. And guess what? In Inquisition, you can have a conversation with Morrigan about her god baby and the warden. I love that. Are you kidding me? Little tidbits about the other games, the choices that you made, like, Alistair talking about his, the queen, like my very first playthrough, I played as the Grey Warden, and I went after Alistair hard. He's my favorite. Him and Zevran, but mostly Alistair. My favorite characters to romance. Loved Alistair to be. I spent so many playthroughs trying to get the right combination where I could actually get married and stay married to Alistair. I spent so much time because I didn't know, like, the stats I needed. I had to, like, pump up the silver tongue and, like, make the correct choices. I had to figure that out on my own. I knew it was possible, and I played as many times as I needed. And I got it. Thank God. But, like, I wanted it. And so like when like you're in like Alistair comes in because you've taken over the mages, and he's like, naughty naughty, I see you're you're taking over places, please behave. And I was like, okay. So like, you can talk to him, and he's like, ah, the hero of Ferelden, yeah, my wife. And I'm like, oh, you know. I love those types of things. Here it's like you have three options, and not even like the most important options. Like I do appreciate that two of them are like Solus based. Like, did you romance him? And did you choose to save him? Important plot points from before. I definitely want to save him and get my man back. That's a big plot point for me. But the Well of Sorrows, did I drink it? Did Morrigan drink it? You know, there's just so many key options that could have been like put in. I get that it's hard. I get that it's hard having that many choices, but it's been 10 years in development. I don't think there's really an excuse. Like, the 10 years, I'm pretty sure you could have written a few more, like, you know, things into it, like choices into it, and past history into it. It's a pretty game, but it's missing a lot of what makes us invested and interested. I love the lore in the game, but I don't just want like a story dump where someone tells me everything. I want to find it, like those scrolls, right? You find them throughout the world and you get random bits of history and tidbits and things like that. So frigging interesting. Um, Hell, it's just there's so much good lore out there that you could find by exploring places that you don't normally get to unless you're actively looking around. You know, I probably wouldn't have found a half of them if I wasn't a friggin' loot goblin. I'm out here looking for chests and I'm like, ooh, a scroll. Well, that's interesting. Are you kidding? That would have been awesome. There's friggin' Kunari around the place. If you really wanted to add in like the non-binary stuff, you could add in a scroll of like back, you know, I don't know, it's like a quick summary, like um and the Kuhn was not approving that there was some, you know, Kunari who don't conform to gender roles and stuff like that, you know? Kunari would be, you know, the Kuhn would be pissed about that, right? There's no way they would have been down for that. And hence they're like, say, like, it's heresy or something like that, and they're killed on the spot. You know? Because that's what the fucking Kuhn would do. They chain up their mages. There's no way they're gonna let that shit fly. You know, you could have had it like as like random tidbits from exploring the world, finding these freaking scrolls, or engaging in conversation. I feel like for that to really come up, you have to like actually engage in conversation, right? You don't just be like, I'm non-binary, ha ha ha, deal with my shit. You go, hi, nice to meet you, what's your name? And then as you get to know them, you know, they tell you a little bit more bits of them about themselves and stuff like that, like slowly adding a bit more about the self, because they're not just going to be openly like, oh, I will tell you everything about me now. No. They don't tell you they have an addiction to catnip. You know, they wait until you're good friends before that comes up. By the way, I have an addiction to catnip. So if you ever, you know, ever want to give me like a really nice birthday gift, just give me catnip, you know? God damn. You you got to get some like some kind of lube for that shit. Like, you know, get to know the person first. Um you don't just break in with the, yeah, I think I'm non-binary and I feel like not a man or a woman, you know? That's not, most people don't start with that. They get to know the person first, and then when they're comfortable, then they add these things in. Like, goddamn. um let's see. But yeah, the choice thing greatly distresses me, and I'm gonna be so sad if I can't get Solus and my Inquisitor back together, because I need it. um let's see. Spy them. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, I don't know if I noticed, like I mentioned, but like I think I did mention, but I'll say it again anyway, that some of the scrolls just say stuff like, oh, it's an old note or stuff like that. And I was expecting some like hidden lore, especially in like the ones that are harder to find. Like you have to really go out of your way to find them. And then they're just like, oh, it's a very old note. I'm sorry, what? I was expecting, I don't know, some like lore drop or something. Something, or like, something about the new god, not the new gods, but the old gods that have been come back. Maybe something about them, or something about Solus, anything. Not just, it's a very old note. The things the game has going for it, it's a really pretty background. Like I love Arlathan. It's gorgeous. The lighthouse is really neat. Yeah, I feel like the graphics team did really, really good on the backgrounds, and I hate that it's the main thing that I can compliment about the game, because there should be so many things going for this game. So many things that I should be gushing. I should be absolutely praising the game, right? Especially since I'm a pre-existing fan. I'm the one that will be dishing out the cash to you guys, right? And I did, and I regret it. I dished out $119 to buy the deluxe edition. And I should be able to gush about the game and be proud of the game and be like, oh my god, it's so freaking good. It's not. It's not. But it should be. For 10 years of development? Are you kidding me? Man, the other games didn't take anywhere near that. It was barely anything compared to 10 years of development. And the fact that they were even like gonna make it an MMO in the first place is are you kidding? That's not the kind of game. But anyway, that aside, it shouldn't be this bad after 10 years. I feel like maybe someone at EA stepped away. Someone high up at EA stepped away and was like, oh, I could trust my game developers. And then they hired someone who's just trying to push the agenda and doesn't actually care about the game or the lore or any of that shit. They're like, well, how can I push my agenda? And these gamers are going to listen. And if they don't listen or they don't like it, I'm just going to call them bigots. And they're not the audience I'm appealing to. We should be the audience you're appealing to. We are a pre-established fan base. We've been around a long time. Like, we are the goalpost you should be heading for, because we are guaranteed to make you money. We are literally your piggy banks that are just waiting to throw money at you. All we want is a good game. That's all we needed. And we didn't get that. At least most of us didn't, from the looks of it. And honestly, I may finish this game out of spite. Just out of spite. I've already paid for it. I can't get my money back. I'm already outside the zone of being able to return the game. And I just wanted nice things for Solus and my Inquisitor. I wanted a nice game where I can have fun and get invested in the world. And it's not able to give that, because it's not been written with the intent of, it doesn't feel like it's been written for the intent of having fun and enjoying the game, right? Because they're not focused on us having fun. They want us to spend a lot of time doing it. They want us to listen to all their ideals that they're trying to force on us. I love the Dragon Age games. They've been worked for a long time. They've had gay couples and shit. We didn't care because it was well written. Hell, like what the old writer called us tourists just because we weren't happy about... We're not happy about it being a crap game. That's all we care about. We don't care if there's trans characters in there, or there's gay characters in there, or, I don't know, some dude in a duck. Whatever. So long as it's well written to the story and fits the world, right? You can't go into like a high fantasy world and be like non-binary, right? It's a high fantasy, medieval type game. They've got their own words for shit. You know, it's just somebody let activists into the game. They let it in the creative process of the game, and they fucked everything up. It's always activists. Trans people are fine. Trans activists are a pain in the ass. They they seem to ruin a lot of good things, and I don't think that should be the way. Because normal trans people, like people that mind their own business, they just want to exist, be left alone, not judged or anything. They're fine. No issues. They're lovely people. Activists of any kind, I don't care what they're activists for, I don't like them. And especially when they get like, they come in like, oh, you game because you don't want to frickin', you know, you want to get away from reality. Fuck you. You're gonna see my reality anyway. I'm gonna make you. No, thank you. I just want a good game. I wanna play my fantasy game with my elves and with my magic and, you know, my sweet romance options. Hell yeah. I want that. And unfortunately, I didn't get that in this game. Hell, I could probably sit there and rant for ridiculous amounts of time about what I hated in the game. And the worst part is I've been so desperate for this game. I've been one of the biggest fangirls I could be for this game, the series. And they just like ruined the last one. Cause depending on the numbers, they may not make another one. And that feels bad, man. I just want to have a good game and enjoy it, and that's apparently too much to ask for. Anyway, this is my long-ass rant done. EA and BioWare, if you ever want to make another one, not necessarily after this, like, you know, after, but if you want to make just a second one that's like, you know, pretty much a continuation on from Trespasser, sign me up. Sign me up! Man, I don't even have to be on the clock 99% of the time. I will make the shit out of this game. I can't do graphics. I can't code it or anything, but I will make it a labor of love. It will be a labor of love, and I will put all the things that honestly we wish we had in there, like all the lore that, you know, is needed, and not make the game frustrating to play. Like, we don't need to make it hard to play. I am totally down for, you know, putting the health bars back to normal, making it so that you can use strategies instead of just you know. So yeah, if you ever want to do that, I will do it. I will make that labor of love, but let's be honest, you're never gonna see this, and I just wanted an excuse to get rid of some of the frustrations and also be like, this could have been a really good game, and we deserved a better game, and unfortunately we didn't get that, and we probably never will. And I wanted to love it so much. I hate it. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you for listening to my almost an hour-long rant. Yes, thank you so much. Maybe bye-bye.